Hey everyone, it's Jill, the Wandering Stamper. This week we are going to create a diagonal joyfold card. If you've watched, last week was a regular joyfold card and they're so much fun to make and so versatile, I decided let's go ahead and do a second video, this time doing the diagonal version. So we are going to use the Merry and Bright Designer Series paper and products. That suite is just so gorgeous, and then I'll show you a fun way to use some of the other sets to make the same style card. So I'm going to point the camera down and we'll get started. Thanks for joining me today. So let's get started. This is the suite of products we're going to use, sort of our ingredients for the card today. We are going to use the Merry and Bright photopolymer stamp set. I love this set. It's so much fun to create these little strings of lights, and then it comes with some great dies that go with it that of course match all of the paper. We're going to use this 2 3/8 inch circle punch. You don't have to worry about it if you don't have this punch. Just use a circle, square, whatever shape you want. You'll see it's very versatile what you use this part of the card for. Then I went ahead and die cut 5 bulbs using colors that match this paper. So we have Flirty Flamingo, Real Red, Night of Navy, Crushed Curry, and Granny Apple Green. Those colors go really well, and they're all in this paper. So we're using Night of Navy to pull that in. Here are the dies that I used to cut our images, die cut our images earlier, just so I didn't have to waste your time. Watching somebody die cut is like watching grass grow, so I realized that, so I thought I'd save you that misery. And then I cut out the little toppers for the bulbs with the Melon Mambo and Granny Apple Green paper that comes in the suite. This metallic paper is just, these foil sheets are gorgeous. So I decided to cut those out and bring that pop of color in. So these are all cut out for us. And then we're using, of course, I mentioned the Night of Navy. I wanted to do something other than red and green, so Night of Navy goes really well with, of course, the stripes that are on this paper. And this Fa La 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 goes well with everything too. So this is the paper we're using, and then I grabbed some Whisper White. So let's get started. Get some of our materials out of the way. So I'm going to show you my little spin on it. I added a layer on the back, and I will have regular instructions for just a plainer card, but I wanted to do this one. I just liked how it came out. So we're going to start out with our Night of Navy paper. And we're going to cut 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 for our base. So what I'm basically doing is, instead of creating a regular card base that folds, I'm creating a little panel for the back, and then our other card base will sit on top, if that makes sense. So what did I say? 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm going to go ahead and cut 5 1/2 this way, and 4 1/4. So you don't have to do this step if you don't want to. I just liked that extra pop of color behind. So this piece is going to be behind our card base. And then we're going to grab our Whisper White, and we're going to cut that 4 inches by 10 3/4, and that's going to layer on top. So normally this white piece would be your card base. So, and I'll give you the instructions for making it that way if you'd like to. So we've got 4 by 10 3/4, just making it a tiny bit smaller. 10 3/4. So if you didn't want to do this blue piece, then you would cut this piece 4 1/4 by 11. Okay, I just made it a little bit smaller because I wanted to layer it on here. And then I'm going to score my piece at 5 3/8, which is the halfway mark. Okay, so if you were not going to do it this way and you're just going to make this your base, then you're going to cut it 4 1/4 by 11 and score it at 5 1/2. So mine's just a little bit different. I just like the way it looked. And then you're going to, let me close this up so you can see, I'm cutting on the diagonal from the top score line of the score line to the, probably can't see it here, to the bottom corner to make your diagonal. So I'm just lining that up. I love the clear arm of this cutter because that helps you do that really easily. And just give it a cut, okay? So when you open it up, your diagonal is created, all right? So again, the one I'm creating is a navy 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then this second layer, which is really what the base is 4 by 10 3/4, and it's scored at 5 3/8. All right, so that is done. And now we want to create our designer series paper. So I decided I really liked these stripes on the bottom. So you want to figure out which direction you want your stripes. I want my stripes to go this way. So I'm going to cut the stripe paper at 3 3/4 by 5. And I know that the shorter end is over, you can't see me, the shorter end is over here. So that's the 3 3/4. And this may already be cut. No, not quite. Using my scraps. I love using my scraps. By 5 inches. Okay, that is already 5 inches. Yep. All right, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut it at a diagonal. And you can kind of decide which corner you want showing. I kind of like this navy. So I'm going to cut it there. And when you're cutting designer series paper, put your cutting blade in the middle so you don't mess up your corners, because otherwise your corners can get all a little smushed up. All right, so now that piece is going to layer right there. All right, and then the other piece that I have is this fa la 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 la. And I'm going to cut that 4 inches by 5 1/8, and that's going to be on the inside. So you want to be mindful, this is directional, so I want my fa la 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 to be facing the right direction. So I'm going to cut the 5 inches, 5 1/8 inch. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes because I did have to make some new numbers for this little version of the card I decided to make. I'm going to cut that way, and then we're going to cut it at 4 inches. So 5 1/8 by 4 inches. And that just gives you that little narrow margin all the way around. Actually didn't do that right. Oh, that's because I didn't cut it right. What did I say? 5 1/8 by 4 for the inside. So maybe it is 5. Okay. See, I'm still working out my numbers. All right, we're gonna just start this over. Take 2, people. All right, we're going to do it the way my instructions are. 4 by 5 1/8. I know that worked. So 4 inches by 5 1/8. This should work. I made a sample. So the 5 1/8 worked perfect. All right, bear with me a second. We are going to make this 3 7/8. Let's see how that works. Yep, 3 7/8. Let me make sure I cut my paper right. 4 inches. Yep. Okay, So let me make a note here. I will go through all these numbers again. So this piece is going to be 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Let me go through this one more time. So we have 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. We have 4 by 10 3/4, and then it's scored cut diagonally, and it's scored at 5 3/8. And then this piece is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8 for the inside. And then this piece was 3 3/4 by 5, and it was cut diagonally. Okay, so there's all our pieces for that. Now we want to create the layer for the inside, and this does not have to be changed at all. You can use it for a plainer card that doesn't have this piece, or you can use it for this the way we're doing it today. So this layer is going to be cut at, I feel like I'm losing my mind today. Okay, 3 by 8. Three by 8, and I just cut 3 inches off because I know it's 11 inches long. I don't have to put the arm out and get it in your way that way. So 3 by 8, and then you're going to score it at 4 inches, which is in half. Okay, so there we go, and then that is going to be the inside. So we have that layer, and then I added a layer of Night of Navy on top of it, which is going to be 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. Let me see if this piece of paper, it is. It's big enough. So 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. That's going to layer right here nicely. And then, last but not least, I'm going to punch out this circle. Again, this is the 2 3/8 inch circle, but you could use whatever shape you want, whatever die you have works fine. You just don't want it to be too big. Any circle will do. All right, so that's all of our cutting. Now we're going to start assembling. And thank you for bearing with me on that little, you think you write all your numbers down, and I did not. Okay. So now we're going to start assembling. We have all of our pieces. So the first thing we're going to do is layer this blue piece behind the white base. And I'm going to use a little liquid glue because I have not been putting things on straight today. I'm just having one of those days, as you can tell. So I'm just going to use a little liquid glue so I can maneuver it, because I don't want that blue piece to be off. It's a focal point. So you just want to leave a nice little narrow margin and make sure it's all straight. See, I'm just not quite straight today. Okay, that looks good. One good thing about using the liquid glue is you have a moment to adjust if you need it, and sometimes you just need it. All right, that's good. So now the next thing I'm going to do is layer this fa la la piece, the red piece, and I'm just going to use some Stampin' Seal for that. I'm not too worried about getting that on there straight. Liquid glue works fine. Make sure you get your words the right direction so they're not upside down. I'm going to do it this way. Ooh, stuck to my finger. Okay. And then this piece is going to go here. Again, I'm just going to use my Stampin' Seal. Liquid glue would work great because You do want to get it in the corners. What is going on? There we go. All right, make sure none of my glue is sticking out. And then I'm going to just layer this here. Okay. It's already adorable. Now, before I decorate this, I'm going to do some stamping because I don't want to mess up anything and have to start over. So I'm going to grab some scratch paper here. And what I wanted to do is have a Holly Jolly Christmas. So I've grabbed out the Have a and Christmas and then this fun little Holly Jolly stamp. And then I'm going to grab my Real Red. You know, I dropped this earlier and it landed, of course, on my shirt. Thankfully, the ink will wash out. It wasn't a black memento stamp set or stamp pad that fell on me because that would have been tragic. It would not have come out. So I'm going to pull this out of your screen for just a moment because I want to get this on here straight. And the reason I like to do this ahead of time is because I can just flip my paper over if it doesn't look so hot. And I'm going to clean it right off camera because I'm a mess today. All right, I'm going to take that off and put it out of the way. And then I'm going to do the Holly Jolly in Night of Navy. Just trying to keep all my colors pulled together. This stamp pad needs a little ink, so I'm going to try to get a good amount of ink on here. I need to ink it up. All right, I'm going to go off camera for a second. And one thing I have a hard time with is my paper wants to fold. Okay. Have a Holly Jolly. See that? I got a little teeny bit of ink there. That's going to drive me crazy. It'll be okay, Jill. It'll be okay. All right, and now the last stamp says Christmas. Put this on straight. Ink that up. Pull this out of your view again, and I'm just centering it. There we go. All right, clean this off, close this up. So we've got our inside, and then it's going to open this way, like that. All right. So a little tip so you don't have the problem I had with the card wanting to fold up is when you go to stamp this, just bend this back so it doesn't want to flip up. Just bend it back. And you'll be fine. And then when you open it back up to assemble it, you can just use your bone folder. All right, so we're going to adhere this blue piece to the front. Okay. Now we're going to do some stamping on the front of this circle. And all I'm going to put on there is Santa was here. I thought that was kind of cute. I'm going to use the red. The blue would work as well, but I'm going to use the red. And just stamp it in the middle. All right, stamping is done. And then we're going to adhere this to the front of our piece like that. Scrap paper out of the way. And I'm going to use, I think I'm going to go ahead and use the Stampin' Seal Plus because it's going to be a lot of movement on the top and I want to just Make sure it's on there extra well, extra firmly. And then just put this as close to the middle as you can. All right, and now we can go ahead and pop this into the middle of the card, and it's going to sit just about like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and use liquid glue again. So if I need to move it, I can. Just putting a thin stream around the edges and a little in the middle. And then what you want to do is just kind of feed this piece in there and get it about where you want it, and then you can just kind of adjust it. The nice thing is the words make it super easy to center. So there we go. So now when it opens like that. So that's super cute, but we're going to go one step further and we are going to add our ornaments. You're going to love this. So the first thing I like to do is I flip over all these little toppers and I just put a little bit of, you could use glue. I like to use the Stampin' Seal because it's just quick and easy, and you can just fold any of those tabs over that are sticking out, and I like that. Whoa, look what I did. Got a little crazy. We can fix that. See, I told you, I'm just having a day today. All right, I'm gonna put some glue here and we'll do a little surgery on this one. So then you just want to grab your ornament, and this one's just fine. The good thing is the glue is strong. Put this back. Boy, you're seeing me make all kind of boo-boos today. I am not perfect, that's for sure. All right, and then this glue is so strong. Love it. It's making it actually hard to fix. All right, there we go. But I don't want to have to go make another one. There, perfect. All right, so we're going to set that one aside. Grab our next one. I'm just moving any little tabs that are sticking out of the way. There's another one. There's one on my finger. I was wondering where that was. I love these ornaments. I like how vibrant they are. Doesn't it bring back memories of childhood, the big bulbs on the tree? We had big bulbs on our tree. I think at some point my mom switched to the little bulbs, but for the longest time we had the really big bulbs. Now I have the tiniest tree in the world because that's all I have room for in my RV. It's a teeny tiny tree with little teeny tiny twinkle lights. All right, so those are all there. Now, the way we are arranging these is we're just going to kind of create a circle around our circle. So just decide where you want these to be, basically. And you don't want them to hang off the card too much. You really don't want them to hang off the card because it's going to make your card really hard to fit in an envelope. So I just kind of manipulate them and take a look at what I'm going to do. So that looks pretty good. Now, I could, if I wanted to, just do it this way. Actually, I might do that. We'll do it that way so that we're not hanging off the card too much. Because you don't want to go beyond here because you're not going to be able to fit it in the envelope. So we'll do it this way. That looks cute. All right, like that. So we're going to get our dimensionals. My stamp pads are sitting on them. I couldn't see them. Now, one thing you want to remember is don't put any dimensionals past this middle piece because it's going to make your card pages stick together. So I just put one at the top, right about there, and then I'll put one in the middle, and I just leave the rest of it blank. All right, so I'm going to put this one. I'm kind of looking to see where the edge of my card is because I don't want to go further than that, and it's fine if it's into the words. It doesn't matter. It still looks cute. And you just want to just keep building your card. Grab the next one. This card would be super cute with Christmas trees. God, there's so many good Christmas stamps out right now. I don't know how anybody decides what to use. I'm just kind of looking at my blue one and trying to keep it balanced. My little blue bulb. And then we'll do this one about right here. And last one, this one's the Flirty Flamingo. I just felt like putting a little pink in there. And I love how it's so simple to match up the colors in the designer series paper. Not only are they visually easy to figure out, but you can just look on the back. Look, I put that one a little high. You can just look on the back and see what colors are in the paper. Love this Take Your Pick tool because it has this little spatula on the back, which is great for pulling up embellishments that are in the wrong place. Put that one a little high. I don't think I've ever done a video where I've made so many mistakes, but I'm not going to start it over because you know what? I'm human. It's okay. I make mistakes too. Maybe one of you are having a day where you're making a lot of mistakes, and now look, you won't feel so alone. I'm making a lot of mistakes too. You'd think I'd never made this card. I just finished making this exact same card, and I had 0 problems. Okay. Everything's figure-outable, right? So now just figure out where I want that last one to fall. There we go. Look how cute this card is. Love it. It's perfect just this way. But you know me, I love my sparkle. So I have some clear Wink of Stella, and I am just going to quickly paint this right over the bulbs, and it gives them a shimmer, which, you know, when they're turned on, they're shimmery. So this one's getting a little bit dry. Give it a little squeeze. There we go. And I feel like it makes it look a little wet, so it even makes it a little more vibrant. So yeah, love Wink of Stella. Just make sure your pen's not drying out. I use these a lot. I have to buy them in multiples, especially during the holidays, because you need a lot of sparkle during the holidays. So super simple. You just paint it on. It's clear, so it's easy to do. It's not going to mess anything up, even if you get it where there's no color. It doesn't matter. I don't usually have to go over it so much, but I'm kind of drying out here. There. If you squeeze it enough, if you squeeze it too much, you get a puddle. So I kind of gave it a few gentle squeezes, and now it's really flowing well, so that's good. All right, so that's done. So now, I'm not sure if you can see it on camera, but now it's got a really nice shimmer. And then, of course, you've got the shimmer here, too. So when you open it up, it says Santa was here, and you open it up, and you still have plenty of room to write. You can write over here as well, and here, and it folds up so nicely. Super, super cute. Who wouldn't love to get this card? So here's the one I just made. Here is the one I made a little bit earlier and had 0 problems with. I don't know what my problem was today. I did the exact same thing. Here is one I use with Cheerful Daisies, and as you can see, I didn't add that second layer, so I made it with the normal dimensions. I did a lot of stamping on the front and added a ribbon and used a punch to make that pop out, and of course, and then I die cut some flowers and layered those inside, and it says, "Your friendship means everything to me." Love flowers, so there's a pretty card for spring. And then this one comes from the Irresistible Blooms stamp set. I didn't even do much stamping. I stamped "Hooray It's Your Day." I left the inside blank for a note card and used the gorgeous Designer Series paper, layered it on Flirty Flamingo. And then I used the punches that come in with the bundle. If you get the bundle, get the punches, because then you can punch out the images that are on the paper. These are not stamped, it's the Designer Series paper. And then I just die cut some leaves in Granny Apple Green, and then pulled that yellow in that's in the paper with the Daffodil Delight, and made some of the green, these little stems here in the yellow, and layered it all on using dimensionals and glue, and it made such a sweet, pretty little card. So there you go, a versatile, joyful diagonal card, a little different than last week's video with just the diagonal. And then also, if you want to, another spin on it is you can make that diagonal go this way from top to bottom and make your flap open this way. So you can make it a card that's basically this direction. So this could be a whole nother spin on the fold, is creating it this direction, flipping all your words and having it open up like this, where you're opening the fold here and then bringing the diagonal down. So lots of versatility with these folds. So go ahead and try them out. If you enjoy this video, please give me a like and a comment. I love interacting with my viewers. If you need the cutting dimensionals, they will all be down below on a link to my website. I do have a blog on there, and every single video will have cutting instructions and a list of the materials that I used. So that's wanderingstamper.com. And again, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you get a chance to craft today. Thanks for watching.